A staggering 42% of individuals earning over $100,000 annually are living paycheck to paycheck. This defies every conventional belief about wealth, doesn't it? But what unseen forces are truly neutralizing these high incomes, keeping financial freedom perpetually out of reach? When you analyze the financial landscape of modern professionals, the high-income paradox emerges as a stark, undeniable reality. We assume a robust six-figure salary, say $150,000 a year, should inherently translate into significant savings and financial security. The mainstream narrative often celebrates these income levels as markers of success, suggesting ample buffer against economic turbulence. Yet a significant portion of these high earners aren't just feeling the pinch. They are actively struggling. The actual percentage, as high as 42% for earners over $100,000 and climbing to 30% for those exceeding $250,000, paints a picture of pervasive financial fragility. Many feel trapped in a cycle that seems impossible to escape. But to truly grasp why this is happening, we need to look at something seemingly unrelated, yet profoundly impactful: lifestyle creep. What exactly is lifestyle creep? Think of it as a stealthy thief that secretly absorbs your raises, leaving you with little to no financial buffer. The common interpretation is that a raise simply means more disposable income. You earn an extra $10,000 and you anticipate that $10,000 more in your savings or investment accounts. The twist is, for many, that $10,000 raise immediately triggers an upgrade in both fixed and discretionary expenses. Perhaps you move to a slightly larger home, driving housing costs up by $500 monthly, or you trade in your reliable car for one with a higher payment, adding another $250. This isn't necessarily reckless. It often feels like a deserved reward, but these incremental additions, when compounded, can absorb as much as 35% of a salary increase within the first year, leaving an incredibly small amount for actual wealth building. The golden rule for us here: a raise should be viewed as an opportunity to accelerate your financial goals, not merely elevate your consumption baseline. And this brings us to the real elephant in the room. How does debt become a trap, even with a good salary? The surface view suggests high earners should manage debt effortlessly, perhaps even using it strategically. But easy access to credit, coupled with the erosion of savings, means many are leveraging debt just to maintain upgraded lifestyles or cover unexpected expenses. When emergency funds are thin, with the median emergency fund for many income brackets hovering around a meager $1,000, even a minor setback like a car repair costing $800 or an unforeseen medical bill can push individuals towards high-interest consumer debt. With average credit card interest rates currently around 22%, carrying an average balance of, say, $18,000 can quickly amount to over $3,960 in annual interest payments. This siphons off thousands of dollars that could have gone into investments or meaningful savings. This is exactly why relying on just one metric, like salary, is dangerous. Understanding the insidious drag of high-interest debt on your cash flow is critical for any long-term fundamental analysis of your financial health. Now, let's confront the single biggest driver of financial strain today: housing. Why is it consuming disproportionately large portions of household budgets across all income tiers? Historically, housing costs were considered manageable, often around 25% of gross income. The common misconception is that rising incomes have kept pace. The twist is that, due to structural shifts and persistent inflation dynamics, median home prices have appreciated at an average annual rate of 7% over the last decade in many regions, far outstripping wage growth. For a high earner bringing home $10,000 net monthly, allocating 40% or even 50% to housing, that's $4,000 to $5,000 a month in rent or mortgage payments, leaves a substantially smaller proportion for all other necessities and savings. This persistent upward pressure on housing, whether renting or owning, compresses financial flexibility like nothing else. Housing is no longer just an expense. It's a critical strategic decision that dictates the rest of your financial life. This is a simple rule, but it's incredibly powerful. Beyond the obvious, we need to uncover the hidden costs of modern life. The invisible and often underestimated expenses that have become substantial fixed drains on monthly cash flow. Most people track their major bills, but the landscape of modern living is littered with a multitude of smaller recurring costs. Childcare, for instance, can easily exceed $15,000 annually per child in many metropolitan areas, a substantial and unavoidable fixed expense. Then there are subscriptions, streaming services, software, gym memberships, food delivery passes. Individually, they seem trivial, perhaps $15 here, $20 there, but cumulatively these can add up to $200 or even $300 every month, silently eroding cash flow. Furthermore, healthcare costs, even with good insurance, often involve significant out-of-pocket expenses, deductibles, and co-pays, consuming an average of 12% of a household's net income when all factors are considered. This is why many feel perpetually behind. It's the insidious nature of these aggregated hidden costs. Once you grasp this, you'll start to look at financial reports in a completely new light. This leads us directly to the future foregone. Why are emergency funds and retirement savings shrinking even among the seemingly affluent? The immediate pressure of these high fixed and hidden costs means there's simply less available at the end of the month. The common belief is that high earners are diligently contributing the recommended 15% or more of their income to retirement. The brutal twist is that if 40% of their income goes to housing, another 20% to childcare, 10% to transportation, and so on, there's little left for meaningful long-term savings. Studies show that many high-income households are only saving 5 to 8% of their income, which, while not insignificant, is often insufficient to fund a truly independent retirement, especially considering the continuous inflation dynamics eroding purchasing power. The consequence is a future reliant on continued high earnings, without the security of a robust financial safety net or a well-funded retirement. To truly understand this phenomenon, we must take a long view. How did we get here? This is not an overnight crisis, but the result of decades of profound economic shifts. In past generations, a single income could often support a family, and a significant portion of earnings, perhaps 20 to 30%, could be saved or invested after core expenses. Today, post-tax real wages, despite nominal increases, often exhibit a different picture when adjusted for the actual cost of living. We shifted from an era of high personal savings to one characterized by expanded credit access, placing the burden of retirement savings largely on individuals rather than pensions, and witnessing persistent cumulative inflation that silently devalues money over time. For instance, the average cost of living has reportedly increased by more than 3 times over the last 5 decades, while median wage growth has struggled to keep pace, particularly for those earning under $75,000. These macroeconomic shifts have fundamentally altered the financial arithmetic for everyone, including those at the top. This historical perspective is vital for any comprehensive stock market analysis. But there is a pathway forward. Understanding these powerful, often invisible forces is the first critical step towards reclaiming your financial security. This is about breaking free, regardless of your income level. The practical application here is simple, yet profound. For 1 month, track your actual monthly fixed expenses. Every recurring subscription, every debt payment, every hidden cost. Compare it to your net income and your initial estimates. You'll find a significant perception gap exists regarding actual expenditures, and this is something you can easily check for yourself. The ultimate verdict is that a high income alone is not a shield against financial vulnerability. It is merely a tool. Financial security, even for high earners, hinges on conscious financial stewardship, rigorous expense management, and a deliberate strategy to reduce the gravitational pull of lifestyle creep and high-interest debt. But I want to hear your take. Have you experienced lifestyle creep or found yourself trapped by unexpected hidden costs, even with a strong income? Let me know in the comments. So hit subscribe so you won't miss what's next, and jump straight to the next video, because that could be the very insight you need to get ahead.